He checked into the penthouse suite, wearing a $15,000 suit, fresh off closing a nine-figure deal. To the night manager, he was just another black man who didn't belong. One racist refusal later, room service never arrived. What the manager didn't know was that the man he just humiliated quietly owned the entire hotel chain. 20 minutes later, every employee on the floor was unemployed, and the manager was begging on his knees. How far can one act of hatred push a man with unlimited power? Keep watching, because what happened next shocked the entire country. Marcus Ellison never needed to prove anything to anyone. At 38, he had built Apex Hospitality from a single rundown motel in Atlanta into a $4.2 billion luxury empire that quietly owned half the five-star properties along the eastern seaboard. Most guests never saw his face. He preferred it that way. Bored flying in for the annual investors meeting in Miami, he booked the presidential suite at the Grand Meridian Beach Resort under his own name, just like always. No entourage, no security, no flash. Just a slim briefcase and the same calm focus that had turned him into one of the youngest black billionaires in America. That night, he landed late, exhausted but satisfied. The deal he'd closed that morning added another 40 hotels to portfolio. All he wanted was a quiet dinner in his room and 8 hours of sleep before tomorrow's keynote. He loosened his tie in the mirrored elevator, unaware that downstairs, the night manager was already watching him on the security feed, lips tightening with the same quiet judgment he'd shown 100 times before. Marcus had no idea that, within minutes, a single prejudiced glance would collide with the one man who held every job in that building in the palm of his hand. Here's the entire rising action section again, seamlessly rewritten with the racist manager, now a woman named Danielle Whitlock. Everything else, pacing, tension, emotional punches, cliffhangers, remains identical and fully retention optimized. Marcus stepped out of the elevator at 11:47 p.m. The marble hallway was silent except for the low hum of the ocean beyond the glass walls. He slid his key card, the lock clicked green, and the double doors to the presidential suite swung open on their own. Everything was perfect, exactly as it should be in a hotel that carried his invisible signature on every invoice. He loosened his cufflinks, set the briefcase on the desk, and pressed the room service button. A soft voice answered almost instantly. "Good evening, Mr. Ellison. How can we help you tonight?" "Just a club sandwich and a bottle of still water, please. Suite 3000. "Of course, sir. It'll be up in 20 minutes. He exhaled. For the first time in 72 hours, his shoulders dropped. 25 minutes passed. Then 35. Marcus glanced at his watch and called again. This time the line rang longer. When it connected, a sharp, icy female voice cut through. "Night manager speaking. How may I assist you? My order hasn't arrived. Suite 3000. Ellison." A pause that felt like a sneer. "I'm terribly sorry, but we've suspended room service to certain floors tonight." "Certain floors?" "Yes. New policy." The line clicked dead. He knew that tone instantly, cold, smug, dripping with the quiet certainty that comes from never being questioned. He dialed back it again. "Same woman. This is Marcus Ellison in the presidential suite. I've stayed here 11 times in 3 years. Send my food." Another pause, then a soft, venomous laugh. "Sweetie, I don't care what you think this is. We don't deliver to guests who clearly don't belong in the presidential suite. Maybe try the motel down the road next time." The words sliced clean through 2 decades of restraint. Marcus felt the heat rise behind his eyes. He had smiled through country club rejections, through "we're all booked" lies in Michelin-starred restaurants, through boardroom glances that lingered half a second too long on his skin. Tonight, the smile never came. He opened his laptop, logged into the executive portal, and pulled up the live feeds. There she was, Danielle Whitlock, 47, 15 years with the company. Platinum blonde hair pulled into a severe bun, red lips curled in satisfaction as she replayed the call for the 2 bellmen, and the concierge clustered around her desk. They laughed with her, repeating her line about the motel down the road like it was comedy gold. Marcus watched Danielle Whitlock laugh at him. His heartbeat slowed to ice. He typed a single internal code and pressed enter. An encrypted directive flashed to the board, legal, and private equity, the three entities that answered to only one name. At 12:09 a.m., every monitor in the security office went black for 2 seconds, then bled crimson with a message no employee ever wanted to see. Stand by for urgent company-wide directive. Danielle was still smirking, filing her nails, when the lights began to stutter. Up on the 30th floor, Marcus closed a laptop, poured himself a glass from a minibar, and waited. The sandwich no longer mattered. What was coming for Danielle Whitlock, and everyone who laughed with her, was moving at the speed of private jet Wi-Fi. And it was almost here. 12:19 a.m. The private elevator from the penthouse opened directly into the executive corridor behind the lobby. Marcus stepped out alone, shoes silent on the marble. Every screen in the hotel lobby, TVs, concierge desk, even the digital welcome boards, now displayed the same blood-red banner. Employees froze mid-step, staring up like the sky had just cracked open. Danielle Whitlock was still behind the front desk, arms crossed, smirking at a bellman who was replaying her own voice memo to call for the third time. Their laughter died the instant the banner flashed again. Termination protocol initiated. All night shift personnel, report to Grand Ballroom immediately. Authorization, M. Ellison, controlling shareholder. Her face drained of color, so fast the red lipstick looked painted on a corpse. The bellman beside her whispered, "Ellison, wait, isn't that the guest you just—" Marcus walked straight through the revolving door into the lobby lights. No bodyguards, no entourage, just one man in a midnight blue suit that suddenly looked like armor. Every employee turned. Phones came out. Guests on the mezzanine stopped filming the ocean to film this instead. Danielle's heels clicked as she hurried around the desk, voice pitching higher with every step. "Sir, Mr. Ellison, there's clearly been some kind of mistake." Marcus stopped 10 feet away. The lobby went dead quiet. He raised one hand. A single security officer, someone Danielle had mocked earlier for letting anyone in, placed a tablet in his palm. Marcus turned it so the entire lobby could see the live feed of the boardroom upstairs. 47 night shift employees already lined up, badges in hand, HR representatives waiting like undertakers. Danielle's mouth opened, closed. Nothing came out. Marcus spoke for the first time that night, voice low, steady, carrying to balconies above. 47 people laughed while you told a black man he didn't belong in the hotel he owns. 47 people are unemployed as of right now. He tapped the screen once. 47 badges deactivated with an audible chime that echoed to the marble like gunshots. Danielle dropped to her knees right there on the lobby floor, manicured hands clawing at nothing. The woman who had sneered "motel down the road" 5 minutes earlier was now begging in front of 200 phones. Marcus looked down at her for 3 silent seconds. Then he turned and walked back toward the elevator. Behind him, the Grand Meridian's perfect facade shattered louder than any scream. And the reckoning was only just beginning. By 1:07 a.m., the Grand Meridian Beach Resort was a ghost ship in designer lighting. 47 terminated employees stood in stunned clusters on the sidewalk, some crying, some cursing, some already live streaming their disbelief to the world. Danielle Whitlock was escorted out last, barefoot, after security took back her company heels, mascara streaking down cheeks that had never expected consequences. Marcus never raised his voice. He didn't need to. He simply walked back to the presidential suite, finally ate the sandwich that room service delivered in under 4 minutes this time, and slept. The next morning the story exploded. A guest phone footage hit 2 million views before sunrise. By noon, every major network carried the headline, "Billionaire owner fires entire night shift after racist refusal." Within 48 hours, the clip reached 100 million views, sparked 100 think pieces, and forced every luxury chain in America to scramble with fresh diversity training, statements nobody truly believed would change anything. Marcus never gave a single interview. He didn't have to. He issued one quiet press release. Apex Hospitality would match every dollar of the terminated employees' final paychecks and fund their retraining, but only if they completed a 6-month anti-bias certification. 44 of the 47 took the offer. Danielle Whitlock disappeared from public view. Rumor says she now works the breakfast shift at a roadside diner off I-95. The Grand Meridian still stands. The marble is the same. The ocean still whispers against the sand. But every employee who clocks in now knows one undeniable truth. The man who signs her checks might be the black guest they just smiled at in the elevator. Marcus went back to building his empire, quieter than before. The fire that used to burn behind his eyes when he was 25, the one that fueled 20-hour days and impossible deals, is cooler now. Not gone, just controlled. He still flies commercials sometimes, still checks into his own hotels under his own name, still waits to see who looks twice. Because some lessons can only be taught from the top. When the people who believe they're untouchable suddenly discover the one person they answered all along was the same person they just tried to make feel small. This wasn't just one night in Miami. It was every black car declined by accident. Every Uber canceled the moment the driver sees a pickup name. Everywhere all booked, lie told with a smile. Marcus Ellison didn't fix racism. He simply proved, in one devastating hour, that power can answer cruelty in a language even the cruel finally understand. So the next time someone tells you systemic racism is just a feeling, ask them how it felt to Danielle Whitlock when the system she trusted turned around and looked her in the eye. If this story made your blood boil, if it made you cheer, if it made you think twice about the quiet judgments we all witness, drop a comment with the word justice and share this video. Because the more people see what happens when the tables finally turn, the less comfortable the Danielas of the world will feel hiding behind their counters. Change isn't coming. Sometimes, for one brief, beautiful moment, it arrives in a midnight blue suit and doesn't say a word. That's the end of tonight's story. But it doesn't have to be the end of the conversation. If this one hit you in the chest, do 3 things right now. 1. Drop the word justice in the comments so I know you made it to the end. 2. Share this video with one person who needs to see what happens when the tables finally turn. 3. Smash that subscribe button and hit the bell, because every single week I'm bringing you another raw, real story of everyday racism meeting ice-cold karma. We're building something here. An army of people who refuse to stay silent. Join us. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And trust me, it's going to be even crazier. Stay strong. Stay subscribed. Peace.